Hey everyone, in this video, we're wondering, did LEGO tease the next castle faction? So first, let's take a look at a bit of history. We got the Forestmen, and not only that, we got the Black Falcons, we got the Lion Knights, and these are recent returns of different LEGO castle factions, but they've been updated a little bit. So looking at the Forestmen, you can see the shield is clearly different. There's a black outline, there's a refined deer, he looks a lot meaner. In terms of the Black Falcons, the original shields had a blue and yellow outline. In the Kingdom's Joust set, they tweaked it a lot. And then more recently, they've kind of brought it back to the original, but a much more refined look. And in regards to the Lion Knights, LEGO themselves mentions in the Lion Knights castle that they intentionally redesigned and upgraded the shield. You can see the Lion Knights needed a little design update. So LEGO is clearly updating these themes, but they're bringing back all the original castle factions that we've come to love. They've also brought back the Wolfpack. This is one that we caught. The Wolfpack shield in the instruction manual was updated, and you can see it's featured on the torso here on the Wolfpack that's being released in the medieval town square this year. And then we have Magisto's Magical Workshop, which brought us back the Dragon Masters, the Dragon Knights. Here we see a reprinted torso for that faction. Unfortunately, these two do not have shields, but at least we have new torso prints. And the instruction manual of the Lion Knights castle actually has the inspiration sets for that set. We can see here the King's Castle, the Black Falcon's Fortress, the Camouflaged Outpost, and the Black Knight's Castle. And all of these feature shields for those factions. And as you'll notice, what is this? This is intended to be the Black Knight's shield, but we can clearly see not only have they swapped the colors, not only have they given the dragon a new look, but this clear tail swirl difference, they've put the time in to redesign the shield, which makes us think, did LEGO tease us? Are they showing us the potential next faction to be released? And this excites us and it inspires us. So looking at this, you can see they've taken the colors that are featured on the branding throughout the Black Knight sets, which came out in the late 80s, early 90s. And some of the shields did have yellow with the blue dragon, like their big oval shields, but the little triangular shields were always red. So clearly they've made a new design update, and they've changed the colors to have more contrast and are visually more appealing. And a little bit of history on the Black Knights. Here we see them next to the other factions, and again, LEGO's recently brought back the Forestmen, the Crusaders, Lion Knights, Wolfpack, and the Black Knights could be next. Look at this epic poster that we see here. I just love the thought of having the Black Knights come back, because really they were part of this family in a way. They seem to kind of fight with everyone, but they really complete this series of epic LEGO factions. What's interesting though is somewhere in the 90s, these images surfaced that were prototype sets of another castle theme that we never actually got to see. And the first little bit here that caught my eye was this updated barding that was never released in black. And if we look at the original LEGO Black Knight's shield and we look at the castle, the shields it features, we can see they've recolored and they've changed the dragon a bit. It looks like this is the dragon that comes on the barding, but they've definitely changed the colors to more of a black, yellow, and green color scheme. And perhaps the Dragon Masters were kind of an update from this, and that's why we never saw this. But if you do have more history on this, please let us know in the comments. We always find it very cool to find these prototype images that kind of hint at what could have been. So looks like LEGO at one point in time hinted and didn't deliver. Maybe with this latest tease they actually will deliver. So this has inspired us to take a look at the original shield, what it looks like recolored in the updated LEGO style, and that's made us want to release our own redesign. So we took their shield and we updated it to what we'd like to see, which is a more refined dragon, something that's meaner, angrier. We really want the Black Knights to be considered kind of the bad guys in the Lego castle world. So this shield just has sharp lines, nice color contrast, but we did play around with a couple different colors. Of course, here we see what would be the original Black Knights color combo with the red shield and the blue dragon. Now, Lego's teased image features this color scheme, and if they were to bring back the Black Knights, we expect that this is the color combination that they would bring back. But we explored some different colors, like swapping the dragon to black, obviously for the Black Knights, something more in line with the Dragon Masters, and then something that is kind of a modernized take of the original blue and yellow. Here we have navy, dark red, and gold. In the end, looking at these designs, we actually opted for a black focused shield and a yellow dragon. This was of course inspired by that prototype image that we saw where they had a yellow dragon on the shield, and we really wanted the centerpiece to be this triangular shield. Of course, we can't be without the oval shield, and we wanted to give them kind of this old style tile shield that has a more medieval and majestic look, maybe something that they could have in a throne room or on the wall, not necessarily as a shield that they would use for battle. So that is the Black Knights that we've designed, and now we're going to get into, of course, the minifigures that we've redesigned as well. Before we do that, we just want to remind you, if you haven't seen our other videos, we've also redesigned the green chevrons and the trefoils, which were other legendary Lego factions that they've recently given us the shields for, but no minifigures. So there's links to these videos down below, and make sure to check them out if you like our custom Lego factions designs. Looking at the Black Knights minifigures, you can see from this era, obviously a much simpler time. They look very happy, but they were definitely intended to be kind of the bad guys. What I love is these dragon plumes. I love the barding. I love the insignia, the dragons, and we got a couple different looks of the dragon. And the torsos were very simple, just featuring kind of chainmail and breastplates. But Lego in classic fashion would swap the arm colors, the leg colors, to make it feel like we had a lot more variety. And that's really an efficient technique. In our redesign, we really like to try to focus on the black, the red, the gray, but we did also give a nod to the blue as well. So you'll see that in the upcoming images. So the first one is what we considered kind of your standard Black Knight, and here he is updated. So we've stayed very true to the original. The breastplate looks very similar, but it's more detailed. There's finer printing, there's a belt buckle, and we wanted to make them look mean. So of course all the gear, the shoulder pads, the helmet, everything's dark, and the new shield we think pops and looks great here. Just another look at our new Black Knight. Here he is getting into battle. The next minifigure we designed was one that was just all black, everything. Very simple minifigure, but we really imagined that, you know, if people collected a bunch of these, they could swap out the arms, they could change the legs, they could customize it a little bit. But we wanted to make this tie in with some of the recent Lego updates like the Black Falcons and Lion Knights that just featured a very simple torso with the shield clearly in the middle. And here's how it would look with a couple different soldiers, so whether it's an archer, a swordsman, or a spearsman. And of course, we had to give the blue and red versions, and we think this just looks great. It's very simple, but I could just imagine building an army of these guys defending the Black Knight's castle. And we love how this tile piece turned out. It's very kind of mythical and magical and fantasy in nature, and it ties in great with the original Lego dragon plumes. Next up, we modernized the classic. This is probably the first thing that comes to mind when people think of the Black Knights, and it's just a simple breastplate, but we updated the kind of holders here. We tried to keep the insignia on the torso very simple, so it's kind of metal colored, and the shield is where you get that pop of color. So this guy looks mean. Of course, here's a stand where they would probably be out into battle, and they'd have a little flag there, so we wanted to include that as well. Next up, the Armored Knight. He has his full chest armor, and of course we just added the shield on there. And here's a first look at what an oval large shield would look like with the Black Knights. We think it looks great, and here he is without his helmet, so the eye patch. These guys were mean. They were always ready for battle, so you can see we tried to kind of enhance the wear and tear on their shields to show that they've been through a lot of battles. This is one of our favorite figures that we did. This is a fully new designed torso, heavily inspired by the original, but you can see we have chainmail here, a neck armor, and the belt we really love here because it features a bit of gold, and we did give him an extra dagger piece there, so we think this looks great with the black sword and this helmet, and of course the original Lego plume. Our young leader. So a lot of our factions, we tend to make the leader, the king, the commander, an older gentleman. So they have years of experience. They're well seasoned. Here, the Black Knights kind of do it different. They have this young knight. He's willing to conquer, go into any battle. And of course, he would not be complete without a horse and this new custom barding. So we just love how this looks. It looks mean. The black, the yellow, the red, it just pops. And we just imagine him strolling through a village and people kind of hiding and going into their houses. So definitely the look we were going for. Here's a look at the torso prints. So you can see the redesign. There's some similarities, but we think the color combo and a bit of standardization will really look great with this theme. And here they are, the Black Knights. So imagine these guys coming to the new medieval town. It would be a scary sight indeed. So we think they all look great. Like we said, we tried to make it a bit more consistent. The blue and the red kind of add an element of uniqueness, but each of these torsos has its own style and is clearly aligned with the Black Knights. And finally, just looking at an in situ photo of what they would look like. Here they are in front of the Black Falcons castle, and this just makes us wish even more that Lego does bring back the Black Knights. Even if they don't follow our color scheme, to just get another castle faction would be awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you think this is a legitimate tease from Lego, if you like our redesign, and we'll see you next time.